Hello my darling, it's Chanel, and today I am doing my January wrap-up of all the books that I read in January. So I did read a total of 40 books, which was less than I usually read because it was my aim to slow my reading down so that I can keep up with the filming and editing for booktube, because if I read a lot, then I have to film and edit a lot, and it was just taking up too much of my personal time. So 40 is manageable. I would probably like to just lower it a little bit more. And basically all I'm doing is just forcing myself to indulge in my other hobbies instead of having books be my go-to every single time, because I love to read. So I thought, all right, it's summer, this is the time to start new hobbies, try new things, go out more, and I was successful in doing that. So with the 40 books that I read, it was 9,265 pages. My average rating overall was a 3.59. So I did read generally books I quite enjoyed this month, which is what we all hope for as readers, to have the majority of the books we pick up be ones that are to our particular tastes. The author that I read the most of this month was Jack Skelly, because I read 2 of his books. The split was 76% fiction and 24% nonfiction. My top genre was nonfiction because of that, but as you can see, I read from all genres. The other top genres were horror, fantasy, romance, and LGBT. I did track the format this time around as well, and surprisingly, it was 50% ebooks, 48% print. I actually had a lot of the physical versions of books come into the library first, so don't normally get that many hard copy books, but I did. And then there was 2% audio, which was one audiobook, and that audiobook was Rapture. My favorite cover was Rapture by Emily Maguire, and I will tell you which were my favorite fiction and nonfiction of this month when I get to them. Besides that, some little updates. I'm no longer using Fable. I think there was a whopping 10 books this month that weren't in its database, and despite emailing to have books added, they're just not getting added. So it's just kind of pointless for me to use the app when the chunk of my reading cannot be tracked. So I'm just sticking with the Goodreads and Storygraph for the statistics, but I might not need to use that anymore either, because my Excel spreadsheet is doing the hard work, and it might be enough. I can just generate pie charts on that. I also have to update you that I did change my Wild Ones book club pick. So I've decided to make the buzzwordathon that Kayla from Books and Lala does as my Wild Ones book. So I have challenged myself to be able to fulfill both prompts, the title, the word prompt, and the cover prompt, into one book. So yeah, I'm hitting both prompts with one book, and I thought, let's have that book be the Wild Ones book club. So for this month's buzzwordathon, the keywords were water words and having a skyline in the cover. So I picked, I think it's called Here Before the Rising Tide. It's not in front of me, but I'll put the cover up here because it hits the water words with the tide, and you can see a skyline on there. So that will be my new book club pick. It's by Emily Jane. I really liked her other book. It was weird and wacky, so I'm hoping this one is much of the same. I also really wanted to subscribe to the Twisted Retreat boxes, which are a horror subscription box. They do a fancy special edition of a horror book, and all of the extras are consumable and look amazing. Unfortunately, to ship it to Australia, just shipping, was $176. And I did email them to make sure that was the correct amount, and it is. And to spend that on shipping alone, not at this point in my life. I might try and save up and buy myself one box for my birthday. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed because I was watching all these people open up the boxes, and I thought, you know what, I'd like to give the subscription a go, but it's not to be, maybe one day. I also got myself a copy of The Nameless Witch, thanks to Tom. I'm very slowly purchasing the books that I have rated 5 stars so that I can fill my personal library with all of my 5-star books. Now on to my wrap up for the month, where I sum up all the books that I read in one sentence. In no particular order, let's go. Moonfellows by Danger Slater, Moonmen, Moonslugs, and MacGuffinite. Just drink your slug juice and think of home. How I Get Ready by Ashley Young. Dandelions. Know Your Station by Sarah Gailey. Can You Really Trust AI to Eat the Rich? Jumping the Shark, Matched with a Space Shark by Ash Raven. Hawk Tour. Jaws loves to spit on that thing. You say it. Mayfly by CJ Lead. Disney Princess by day. Homicidal Halloween Harlot by night. Bloody jack-o'-lanterns and an eyeful of butt play. Dennis Wilson and Charlie Manson by Jack Skelly. This Beach Boy drummer goes fucking hard, bro. Picture book of adults who make questionable choices. He plunged into the drink and never surfaced. Hot Springs Drive by Lindsay Hunter. Maybe don't get to know your neighbours. I Can See Your Lies by Izzy Lee. Liar, liar, face full of pus. Time to Put Mummy to Rest. Slippery When Yeti, Monster Between the Sheets by Tanner Stone. Wedding Planner loves cold, hairy men in secluded cabins. Don't drink the punch. Frosted, a Frosty the Snowman erotic parody by Rebecca Macy. When demon summoning goes wrong, you'll have to sit on a carrot and suck an icy pole. Nettle by Bex Hogan. Nettle's got that magic touch to put the fairies in their place. Ensorcelled by Josephine Angelini. Former apprentice to the evil sorcerer switches sides and falls for the good girl. Also features Daddy's Big Stick and a sassy phoenix mummy. Cannot wait for Asphodel's redemption arc. Eat the World by Mariana Diamandis. Love her music. These poems, not so much. Bake Joy, easy and imaginative bakes to bring you happiness by Kim Joy. A collection of edible antidepressants. The Unmothers by Leslie J. Anderson. Horse Girls Get It Done. The Italy Letters by V. Key Now. Her clitoris just won't leave her alone. Dark Matter, a Ghost Story by Michelle Paver. Idiot stays in the haunted Arctic despite being given multiple opportunities to leave. Many animals die. The Complete Fear of Kathy Acker by Jack Skelly. A counterculture depiction of 80s LA drenched in sexual fantasies and social commentary with Kathy Acker as the muse. Aren't we all just trying to satisfy our vortex hole vacuum infinite tunnel of gratification? Jack's brain is horny cosmic drugs, bro. Greekish, Everyday Recipes with Greek Roots by Georgina Hayden. Combination of modern and traditional. The Nightmare Before Christmas by Sarah Rusk. The Prince of Halloween is citrus and spice and all things nice. The Wood at The Wood at Midwinter by Susanna Clark. Girl decides to move to the woods and be a mama bear. 22 Impressions, Notes from the Major Arcana by Jessica Friedman. Didn't vibe with it. Rapture by Emily Maguire. Lady denies the desires of her flesh and femininity to cosplay a male monk and climb the religious ladder. Pet Cemetery by Stephen King. Be careful where you bury your dead. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Xavier Rush has ruined me for all other men. I forever bow down to the greatness of Abby Jimenez. The Frozen River by Ariel Lohan. Don't Mess with Martha the Midwife. Never Have I Ever by Isabel Yap. Fave's story was about a lonely gay witch boy who conjures up Tinder brews and misty workplace boyfriends. The Simple Art of Killing a Woman by Patricia Mello. Marriage is Russian roulette for women. How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. Remember to return your books because librarians are crazy. Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley. Send a bloodthirsty sentient dagger my way, please. Following the Moon by James Norbury. The Best Wolf There Ever Was. Everything that is important will happen today. There is no tomorrow. Tomorrow, when it matters, will be today. Book Nooks, inspired ideas for cozy reading corners and stylish book displays by Vanessa Dina. I was expecting curated spaces and rooms, like the cover. Instead, we got close-ups of shelves and stacks. The book recommendations were a nice touch though. Melbourne Secrets, Cuisine, Culture, Fashion, Interiors by Stephen Crafty. Bit basic. Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle. No renewing romance loans for this lady. Venus, A Sacred Path, A Feminine Frequency, A Sensual Love Affair with Life by Lisa Lister. Didn't vibe with the writing style. The Bloodless Princes by Charlotte Bond. Dragon Kitty helps a ladies put some bloodless brutes in their place. The Katia, Cats, Magic, Nature and Spells by Alison Davies. Cute cat illustrations. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doughty. Didn't resonate with the tone and personality of the author. Henry and June, The Unexpurgated Diary of Anais Nin or Anais Nin. I don't know, guys. Something I do know is that this book was an orgy of infidelity. Youth Juice by E.K. Sathu. Goop Wishes. I believe that was everything. If it's not, I'll add a little post-editing video in here, but otherwise, my favorite nonfiction read this month was Bake Joy by Kim Joy, which was just a super fun to read and cook from recipe book. And my favorite fiction read of this month was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which I luckily received as an ARC. Those were all of the books that I read this month. Do let me know what your favorite read of this month was down below. And until next time, stay wild, Star Child.